All right, welcome back into There Will Be Bourbon. I am your host, Eric Banazeski. Tonight we're going to be sipping on a little bit of this poor bottle I just ended, unfortunately, but it is a 15-year Knob Creek special for my whiskey and bourbon group that we haven't been able to see each other in several months, unfortunately, because of this thing that we're all dealing with. But this one's actually 15 years and 9 months. Special bourbon pick or barrel pick for our group. So that is what I'll be sipping on while my wonderful guest, Staff Sergeant Nicholas Davidson, who at the time was a private first class at the Battle of Kamdesh in October of 2009, October 3rd to be specific. You may understand this to be what is the new movie, The Outpost, is based on. Kind of to give you a little bit of backstory on the actual battle, it is at the time the most deadly battle in the Afghan war. It's the most decorated unit, which he will tell you all about. What was the name of the unit?
Bravo Troop 361 Cav.
Bravo Troop 361 Cav. So for all you Cav haters out there, just want you to know it's the most decorated unit from the Afghan war, right? In addition to the Taliban that attacked and got murked on that day, there was 8 Americans killed, unfortunately, and over about 27 wounded. There was 2 Medal of Honor recipients come out of this battle for the first time since the Vietnam War. That 2 Medal of Honor recipients came from the same battle on the same day. Those were Staff Sergeant Clinton Romesha and at the time Specialist Ty Carter. And then also there were 7 aviators who were providing support that were awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross. Okay, so now that you know kind of what we're talking about, I'm going to bring in our guest. Currently, Staff Sergeant Nicholas Davidson, veteran of COP Keating.
Yay.
All right. So give us your, so I know some of us have read the books. We got The Red Platoon by Clinton Romesha. Am I saying that? Am I saying that?
Romesha. Yeah.
He deserves the respect.
Front row.
Okay. And then there's also what this movie is based on, the book, The Outpost by
Jake Tapper.
Jake Tapper. I'm doing well tonight with my recollection.
Hey, you killed the bottle, so your brain's in mourning.
Correct. All right. So the movie, The Outpost, is based on that book by Jake Tapper. You were there. Tell us, in your eyes or in your view, of how that went on either that day or from starting when you got there. When did you actually get there? Let's go that.
We flew out May 15th when we started our flight to Afghanistan. So obviously it's my first deployment. I had just gotten to Red Platoon in January of 2009. Actually, on my birthday, I got switched from Blue Platoon to Red Platoon. And yeah.
Happy
so
birthday.
Yeah, it was an awesome present because I love Red Platoon. Blue Platoon, I was there originally, but I love Red Platoon. Yeah, so and that was at JRTC. So we came back, shipped out, the fun trip from the States to Maine to Germany to Manus and then Bath. When we were in Bagram, though, our first welcome in Afghanistan was they lined us all up. We're like, why are we lining up? And why are we getting an arm length apart from each other, or 2 arm lengths apart from each other? And it turns out they're proceeding with a bunch of fallen soldiers that were coming through. So our introduction to Afghanistan was procession of our fallen coming back home to the States. So obviously a great omen for things to come.
Always, yes. I'm sure that was a wonderful way to welcome yourselves to the war, especially in 2009. Things, especially in Afghanistan, had started to kind of get a little spicy.
Yeah, it got actually pretty bad for the unit that replaced ours. But yeah, from there though we went to Jalalabad. We finally got our ammo for our weapons, and then just waited for flights. It was small flights because they were only taking about 2 choppers at a time at night to land us in Keating. Before we got there, we heard, when we found out we were getting hey, we're in Afghanistan. Okay, this is what's going on, and getting our sleep schedules on point. We heard that actually one of the guys that was there was killed by a sniper round a week or 2 before that. So he could be one of the ones that proceeded past us. So it's just like really, really great news coming out of Keating. When we landed, didn't see anything. Just were like, just go across this bridge, because we landed on like a little island between the rivers, and went across the bridge and to our huts. And then they're like, hey, here's your bunk. Wake up and you can see the wonderful position you're in. Because when I landed, for me, when I landed there the first time, it looked like it was up on like a hill, kind of like a castle almost.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that no, I didn't walk up a hill to a castle. I walked up a hill over a bridge to be underneath giant castle walls of a mountain. So I was looking at that. What we called was the diving board was what I was looking at. Oh yeah. So looking all around, you're just in a giant bowl. It was super cool. Not really. Also in the morning when I woke up to what we walked past, because I thought there was a vehicle, one of ours. It was actually a burnt out Russian APC from the Soviet Afghan war.
So interesting. So to stop you though, real quick, I think what a lot of people have noticed from watching the movie, and just some of the people that I watched it with have said, why this location? Because nothing about it looked like a good idea. Now, I argue that it was, for strategic reasons. However, still, you don't have the high ground. You're in the bowl, like you said. What were you thinking when you woke up and actually saw that?
Well, it's not even just that. The OP that was supposed to overwatch us didn't have direct eyesight, so they cannot provide direct cover for us. They can't use their direct fire weapons, only lobbing weapons. Not only that, we're outside of artillery range. There's actually one of the artillery pieces that was used to support of the battle is in Fort Seal. However, like I said, it was out of range. They're having to use those rocket-propelled rounds, but they were still just hitting the southern part, just trying to prevent more reinforcements from the enemy, the insurgents coming onto us, but not providing actual, on the far side support. Yeah. That was all aviation. So just being in there, I was like, what the heck, like everybody else.
What was your elevation? Do you know?
I don't remember.
No, forget. Okay. No, that's not significant. I just was curious since you were in that area. But.
Yeah, no, it was nice though. That's the start of the Himalayan mountains. So I trying to look at
it's beautiful. I mean, I've talked about having the combat ski resort one day, but
yeah. So yeah, no, it was very interesting. With us, one of the ones that had fallen was Sergeant Gallegos, and he was saying it reminded him. He was from Arizona. He said it reminded him from Arizona. Actually, when we moved from Texas to here to California for recruiting, it did look a lot like the hills and mountains of Arizona. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I remember. So I wasn't where you were, but when I was in Afghanistan, we were in Kabul, and I remember we went to KMTC, which is like the Kabul Military Training Center for our qualification, like a range day. And I just remember my only experience at that point with California was Southern California, where my brother is. And I remember going out to the range and looking at those mountains there and thinking, this looks like California. Yeah, it looked like Southern California to me. But no, I get that. Yeah. I can see how he thinks it looked like Arizona as well, because Arizona's got some crazy terrain once you get up high into the snow areas. But anyway, continue.
No, yeah. No, I get that too. I was raised in Humboldt, so I got the redwoods. But yeah.
All right.
The bad representation of my county. All right. So yeah, we were there. First couple days, yeah, we were really like, holy shit. We did on a couple of patrols, just in the surrounding area. We didn't go into any village, mostly just like looking around in the immediate vicinity. So up the switchbacks was kind of like the way you go to OP Pritchie. Then we also went to the north face, which is the mountain directly across from the ECP, and where you kind of go along to get the helicopter drop off on the little island. And then every once in a while go to the putting green, which is if you ever saw the Taliban video or the insurgent video, whatever you want to call them, before he goes Allah Akbar and shoots his little rocket at us, that's where he was shooting from, was the putting green. Okay. So,
and not to cut you off, just for those who don't know, an ECP is an entry control point. So you'll hear it in the movie, but just so if you hear it again and you don't know what that is, it's an entry control point. But go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries. Yeah. I'm here to clarify for those who don't know what the hell we're talking about. So.
No worries. But yeah, so If I remember right, it was 1 week of patrol, 1 week of guard duty, and then whoever wasn't on patrols, who was on guard duty, they were. If we got into a tick, if you were doing patrols, you're now running ammo for those guys that are on guard duty.
Troops in contact. That's a tick. But go ahead.
Yeah, troops in contact. So, and then there was also 2 other vehicles that we'd pop up on in case we were in like for the twilight hours, which is usually with the highest chance of an attack from an enemy is during twilight, dawn, and dusk. So we'd also man those ones as well. So every time we were going to tick, if we were on patrols, we'd run out with ammo. But all in all, after a couple of weeks and getting into ticks, because we got in ticks like every day, it got pretty chill. It was kind of like whatever, because they were more probing, like kind of like I guess is what I would say. Some of it maybe they were trying to do something, but yeah, we would always overwhelm them with power. So like they try to shoot us with machine guns, we would drop a lot of mortars on them, calling them the Apaches, and then they'll blow it up stuff.
I felt like they did a good. I mean, the movie I thought did a good representation of some of that. But you say you got there May? You probably showed up end of May, early June, whatever. And this didn't take place till October. So I can imagine you guys probably got pretty fucking annoyed with every day you're out there and someone's just shooting at you. And it's not even something that you can really respond with, right? Other than what you said, you call in support or call in air support or whatever. But every day, you don't even get an opportunity to really just fucking chill. You gotta, we're getting fucking shot at again. And
well, like I said, it was just normal, so it was like whatever. It was just 30 minutes, and just it was kind of like have fun. Like
that was your battle rhythm. Just go outside, get shot at for 30 minutes, and go about your day.
Yeah, like I got, they couldn't hit us worth a damn. So I honestly thought we were all gonna make it. But it was pretty simple. We never had an injury really. For the longest time. It was just, you got shot at a little bit, run out there, do something. Like one of our ticks, we were on the patrol route, representatives on doing the patrols, so we had to bring out the ammo. And the 50 went down. So I ran inside the barracks, replaced the 50, and I grabbed it. I was in full kit, grabbed it with fully assembled 50 cal and ran it back up the hill to where the gun truck was. And I was like, hell yeah. So obviously it was adrenaline running, but me being, 19, I was like, oh, I could probably do this again. So let me try to take it down and carry it back. And I was like, oh, fuck no. I was like, that didn't work. But yeah, no, there was a lot of fun things. We did a lot of stuff for fun. In between time, we'd watch movies, play games. They play spades. I didn't know how to play spades at the time.
What?
Yeah,
I think most people learn how to play spades in the Army, though, so that's not bad.
Yeah.
Are you a sandbagger? Are you pretty accurate with your calls, or what?
What was that?
Are you a sandbagger, or are you pretty accurate with your calls? Like, you got 5, or are you one of those people that's like, I got 4 and 5 possibles?
So after all that, I went to S1. They didn't play spades, so I finally switched back to being a scout. And when I was in Kuwait, we started playing spades, and I was doing good. However, I do believe in beginner's luck, because the first time I went bowling, all I scored were strikes and spares. The second time, just pure gutter balls. So, I'm a horrible, horrible bowler. That time I was kicking butt in spades, like that deployment or that rotation to Kuwait. But I don't know if I can. Next year, we're going to have a reunion, another one, and there's going to be a spades tournament, so we'll see how I do there.
Let's do it. All right, so the 50 cal happened. Go from there.
So, but yeah, so it's everything the same. The only other, there's a couple little things that were kind of that were good memories. I think one of the funny ones too I had was one of the patrols I did. I finally started taking the malaria pills again because I just quit for a while. I started again, and I didn't eat. And we went hiking the north face, and this time we were gonna go higher than we would before because we were gonna try to set up an overwatch. And halfway up it, it just felt like the sun was a laser beam on my chest, and I just started vomiting. I'm a very, very loud vomiter. So you can hear the whole valley. It was bad, and we ended up canceling the mission and come back. But it was hilarious. It was just some of this you just gonna remember forever. So I was kind of embarrassed. It was bad. Rookie private mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good times. We had a lot of fun. When in the movie, it did show the white platoon sergeant. He got the shrapnel in the face from a B-10 rocket. So we figured out they were using a tree. So we went to take down the tree. That kind of helped a little bit. Then they were trying to figure out something else to use. So we actually did send a patrol out there to take out the cave that they're hiding in. So that was one of the major missions we did. And that was just, like I said, just a lot of patrols. We patrolled the village a couple times. Not like I say, it was just too much. It was kind of like normal routine stuff. The other thing I could think of, we had some reporters come by. The Latvians like, hey, we're going to take them out. We want to play a joke on these reporters. We're going to pretend that we're in a tick. And as soon as you hear a couple gunshots, it's going to be us. You just slide up the mountainside. So we turned our...
Latvians having fun. If we do something like that, it's fucking UCMJ. Nobody gets to have any fun.
No. We're all on board. So just to say we weren't getting shot at. So we just switched our rifles to 3-round burst, and we just unloaded. You just dump mags into the mountainside. So, and for anyone who's worried about the people out there, there was nobody out there. These mountains were very, very sparse. There's like, we didn't shoot near the villages or anything, and they didn't hide in there. It was literally just insurgents. Those trails I'm telling you about, that's just literally American trails on the switchbacks. No Afghans were on those trails. So trust me, no one was getting hurt.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it was just a lot of fun for the most part. However, towards the end of it, what kind of sucked, we did have what we called the Keating famine at one point. So everything broke for us, everything. Supplies were weren't coming through because the Army kind of switched direction to help out do the search for Bergdahl. Not only that, there was an attack. The Taliban did attack the village that was north of us and took it. So there was a lot of resources sent to that as well. So for a while, we weren't getting any resupplies for certain things. Our emeries, we went through all the good emeries. We actually got stuck with some rotten emeries. The water pump went out, so we lost the shower. And then the generator was acting up. So we're like, hey, the generator's acting up. We need repairman. So we were supposed to get those supplies, repairman to fix everything. And then as the Chinook was coming in to land and drop those guys off, the generator blew up. And they thought it was RPG that blew it up. So they took off with the repairman, and we were stuck with nothing for like a week and a half. So, yeah. That's what we call the Keating famine. So we went back to the garbage, finding those because, we didn't really have a can opener, like the easy ones. It was, just the hand ones, which no one likes to do.
Yeah.
Because you can strip open the Marie's. Like, why am I going to try to caveman this can? So we threw them away. So we went back to our trash and went and grabbed those cans back out because I didn't want to eat. Some people wanted to eat the local Afghan food. I'm not saying it's bad. They enjoyed it.
I loved it, but I get it. At the same time, I get it.
Well, I don't particularly like lamb and goat, so I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
But when we went back to there, and that's when I started hoarding Chef Boyardee. So after that, but yeah, it was all hunky dory for the most part. A couple strange things happened, like the couple nights before that. Excuse me. So I was on the ECP. You gotta understand too, the ECP isn't like how it showed in the movie. The ECP was on top of the Shura building, and it wasn't somewhere you can walk in. It was literally like a turret on top of the gun trucks. That's all it was.
It looked a little, Hollywoodish.
Yeah, it definitely was. So what protected us though was plywood. So they just had plywood on the back for cover and a head cover behind me. And they just threw a camo net over that. And then on the side of me was the LRAS, which probably saved my life. So yeah, that's LRAS?
Yeah.
I don't remember. But it was long range something system.
Yeah, that's I was looking at it too in the movie. I'm like, what is that? I know it's long range. I didn't know if it was air support. I don't know what the fuck it was. But yeah, no, you're right. I don't know what it is either. I forgot.
Or laser range. Maybe it's laser because that's what it is. It's a laser rangefinder, like a giant one.
Yeah.
Laser rangefinder. So it's like laser range.
Hey, someone will comment and be like, "Oh, fucking Poe, this is what it is," But whatever.
Oh, yell at me for not knowing it. Hey, cartel staff sergeant. Like, okay, look, that was back then. We haven't used it. I went to Brad's. Okay, it's built in the machine. built in. But yeah, so that's what the ECP was. Anyways, so a couple nights before that, we had like a weird rain, thunderstorm, windstorm, whatever. It wasn't really raining too hard. And then the radio tower above the ASG, the Afghan Security Guard, that's what ASG is, their hut, fell over on top of my my ECP, my little turret.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, holy crap. And then they were getting an argument with the locals and the sheriff, or not the sheriff, the police officer, ANP captain. So we actually ended up putting up sea wire and stuff like that. And I was like, I think that was actually the night before, if I remember, or 2 nights before anyways. But yeah, all that was done prior to, which actually ended up helping us for the battle, because I was unlucky to stay at the battle, or lucky, whatever you want to say, because I was able to help out. Because I was actually supposed to go on leave to come home to my wife, a beautiful, beautiful wife. And
baby number one.
Yes, baby number one was on the way. But yeah, so we were planning for me to be there so that I'd be there for the birth. I just missed it by a little bit though. So I was actually on the front page of my local paper. But anyways, back to the Afghanistan. So yeah, so that all happened. I didn't get to go, and I was all upset because I didn't want to go on any more patrols, and we were supposed to switch to patrol that next day. But I was stuck on still on tower. So I replaced my buddy, Specialist Gregory, really great guy. Went a little early because I'm sure he was probably doing a PP dance. You know, everyone after guard duty, like that last like 5 minutes, you're like, you know it's there. You know you only have 5 minutes, but you have to go pee all of a sudden really bad. It sucks. Yeah, I replaced him. It seemed like a normal day. And then within like 2 minutes after him leaving, the AMP chief comes back up with a shotgun yelling at me in Nuristani, because that's where we were, was in Nuristan. They actually speak a different language, different culture than the rest of Afghanistan. Obviously, I don't know how to speak it. I don't know any language. I suck at it. So I called it up. I'm like, hey, he's acting weird. I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know if you guys want to come out here. Oh, never mind. He walked away. And sure enough, 2 seconds later, that's when everything starts off. I got shot at for like the first half second. You know, I thought it was like, oh, okay, we're just in a normal tick. That was really weird. And then all of a sudden we got lit up on all sides. So I started off on the putting green, switched over to the north face, and basically was shooting between those two areas because that was my sector of 5.
What was it, early in the morning like they showed in the movie?
Yes, it was, I think I went on at 0506.
See, that's what's up. No respect for the sleep. You know what I mean? Like, but I guess it makes sense because those are PT hours, so you're up and everywhere ready. Right?
Well, yeah, we're all on our schedules and stuff, so it was like whatever. Okay. But yeah, I felt bad for Greg. So you know, he ended up coming back to support the ECP. That's how we did. Like wherever you just left, that's where you're going back to, because you already know if we did shoot before that, you know, hey, how much ammo's still there, if we need to bring extra ammo and all that stuff. So yeah, he came back and he was like, damn it, I just literally just laid down, like my head hit the pillow, I got right back up. Yeah, so I'm on the ECP just shooting. I was doing really good control bursts at first. Control burst, you know, is when you fire it, you know, wait 3 to 5 seconds, do another short burst, 3 to 5 seconds, short burst. So I was doing that at first, but because the volume of fire just got so intense so quickly, I wasn't waiting like the full 5 seconds. They went for 2 seconds, then to like a second, and then basically my barrel overheated and it wasn't functioning anymore.
What did you have? What were you shooting with?
I was shooting with 240 is what I had at the ECP.
Okay.
So yeah, I overheated. At the same time, you know, there was a gun shield on there as well, and it's getting dings. I could hear the dings on it, and then it was coming closer and closer to the center, and I ducked my head down to call, because by then Sergeant Kirk, he was in there too, because he was coming out to support us there. Specialist Greg was there, Specialist Knight was there, Sergeant Days was there, Specialist, who else was there? There's another guy from Blue Platoon that was there.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot your name right now. Sorry. It's gonna bother me. But anyways, yeah. So we were all there in the East. I was calling down to them, and when I ducked my head to call back out, a round actually hit the turret, like the teeth of the turret. It swings back and forth, and then that's when at the time, I thought Sergeant Kirk was yelling at me. Basically, we can use vulgar language, yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay, he said basically, get the fuck down there, you fucking pussy. I thought he was yelling at me because I thought he was mad at me for something because his nickname was Combat Kirk. He just came from there. He came to us and then went right back to the same place. He's a fucking hero. He's a great guy. Everyone looked up to him. You know, everyone loved him. You know, but yeah, so that's why like it bothered me for the longest time because I thought he was talking about me. I thought he was upset with me. I found out later on it was an Afghan that was hiding in there behind me, like preventing me from coming down because he wanted me to come down.
Yeah.
So I came down and I tried to direct Knight where they're flying so he can call for flight because he's our forward observer. And you could try to direct the mortars to there. I didn't know that the mortars were already pinned down at that point. So I was trying to direct me. He's like, yeah, I'm trying to call it up. Nothing's going on because they had to quickly switch nets. I didn't even know they switched nets. But when I did that, I turned back around. Sergeant Kirk was going to shoot another 203 round, and he was shot right then and there. I don't know if it was from the same sniper that was shooting at me or what. It was from the north face is where he got hit from. So I immediately pulled him in. Greg, he was going to try to go back up and see if he could get the gun warning. He immediately came back down when I said, hey, Kirk's down. We immediately used Kirk's radio because his radio was with new channel. We called for the medic saying Kirk is down. Sergeant Corville, he came out. He said, he's like, he looked at him. He's like, I need a stretcher now. Me and Greg both ran out looking for a stretcher. I just beat him to it and came back with a stretcher. Everybody else stayed there. Greg, I helped Sergeant Corville cut off. Greg was helping him get Sergeant Kirk on the litter. Somebody else came in too. I'm trying to remember who it was. And then we all picked up the litter. It was all four of us took the litter and we ran out with it. At that time, one of the mechanics had moved one of the Bobcats in the way to kind of block the maze we have going into the center of the base. Unfortunately, he did it prematurely, so we had to stumble across that, and we went from 4 guys being able to carry him just to 2 of us. So I ended up went from the back to the front because I got over the Bobcat first and carried him the rest of the way in there. Got him in there. Oops, you still there?
Yeah, you're good. Keep going.
Sorry.
It happens. Yeah, that internet.
Yeah. Well, my phone's being dumb. Sorry about that. But so got him in there. It was kind of shocked from that. I knew obviously I couldn't stay there because there's already enough people. I was like smart enough to know that I would just get in the way, so I just immediately ran back to where I came from. So I just ran back to the ECP, the Sure building, the area, and we just fought from there as best we could. Sergeant Hart ended up coming around, bringing another 240 to try to use it, but as soon as he came in, like a mortar round or something came through the roof right on top of Sergeant Days, and we were like, fuck, did another NCO just go down? Luckily, he was not hurt. I even stuck my hand just to make sure he wasn't in shock between his plates and checking his back. And I went to check his front. He's like, get off me, I'm fine. So he's like, I'm good. I don't know. I'm fine. I'm fine. So we're like, yeah, hell no. We can't hold this place. We got to fall back. So instead, Hart, badass, fucking shoots improvised cover one-handed with the saw. So that was cool. I was like, I don't know why. I just remember like, damn, that's fucking badass. And then we ran back to Reptune Barracks, our barracks, and then we heard about one of the gun trucks needing more ammo. So Hart loaded me up with a bunch of ammo, Mark 19 rounds, 50 cal rounds, and some saw ammo. And I'm a very short guy. I'm very short for me. I'm very short human being, but I'm short for a man. So I was loaded down with a bunch of this ammo, and we go back through it. However, I don't know if you can remember from the movie, there was like an open area where it showed that scene where Sergeant Kirk was showering naked. Okay, we actually had trailer showers when we were there. I don't know.
Is that the guy you're talking about? The guy that showered naked? That's Sergeant Kirk. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I don't know if when he was there or any of the other units, that's how it was. But when we were there was actually a trailer shower. So it was right next to where the ANA, the Afghan National Army, were supposed to have their motor pit. but they never used it. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Shocking.
So we ran that way. It's kind of a clear view. So that scene where Greg and Sergeant Romachet got blown off the generator. Mm-hmm. So there was like a little spot there, and that's where Greg Jones. I don't know if that's when Sergeant Romachet was there or if he was there. To be honest, I don't remember. I just remember Private Jones, especially Greg, saying, "Oh yeah, we were covering you," because I guess when I was running by, because I was trying to zigzag at first, but I was just really heavy. And I said, "Fuck this!" So I just walked in a straight line to where the generator was. So I'm like, okay, the generator is covered. Well, they said, and they were hiding there, or not hiding, but they were providing cover from there. And I didn't really know it because I'm just focusing on getting from point A to point B. But I guess one of the insurgents at that point were trying to come through the gate already at that point, and they blew him away. Like he had the weapon on me, and they blew him away. And so they saved my life that time. So through this whole battle, I was probably going to die 3 times, just so you know. I was saved several more times than that. But yeah, so then we make it to the truck. I'm tired. I sit down for half a second just to catch my breath, and they start trying to like drive off with it. And I'm like, wait, I still got more ammo. And that's Faulkner and all them driving to relieve Larson and guys and all them. So
it didn't work out.
They got caught. But so they tried to drive off. It didn't work. Obviously, I went back to the barracks with Hart. We get back to the barracks, and we're like, okay, cool. We got those guys' ammo. Hopefully, we can get those guys, and we can retake our ground. Retake control of the situation. Mm-hmm. However, when we get back to the barracks, I realized there's more people in there this time. Sergeant Stan was there, and that's another thing too with Sergeant Stan. He when we were there, because he came back to like help us and grab some more people, make sure more ammo and whatnot for everybody. But when he heard that we were collapsing the first time from the ECP, he ushered us in there, and I guess there was a insurgent that was right behind us coming through, basically following us back to the base. And they kind of like saw each other and were like, oh shit. And like, he was like, oh shit, someone's that close. And the other guy was like, insurgent was like, oh shit, there's someone like with a gun pointing at me. So they both like paused for half a second, and then Sergeant Stan just lit him or started shooting at him. He nicked him, but he didn't kill him, but he nicked him so he could still stumble away. I don't know, maybe he did die. I don't know. But anyways, so that's where Stan was. He was still holding that one, kind of like basically we know for a fact that we have at least this part secure, so he's maintaining that. We get back in there. Like I said, people are on different radio sets, so there's still a little bit of miscommunication going on, as far as my understanding. Hart, he decides to go back out there and try to relieve those guys. He was told not to, but he wanted to make sure everyone was okay. So he went back out there, and so the thing that bothered me the most that day is actually this part right here, and that was the fact that I didn't go back out with him. And I know, and Sergeant Stan was like, hey, no, you need to stay here. And he saved my life too, because, every single one of those guys that went back out there basically didn't make it. So, he saved my life. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And I just wish, I know I couldn't have done anything, but I do just wish I would have been able to try to do something, obviously, little survivor's guilt there. But, but anyways, so at that point, I was like, fuck, and I'm trying to listen over Sergeant Stan's radio on what's going on. At the same time, basically, from the chatter that we get from her hearing it is basically like bunker down and do like in the movie Alamo. So we're like, fuck. So the rest of us that were there, all the Joes, I went to the far side of the room, and I basically just aimed at the door and was trying to think of like, all right, how can I kill the most people coming through this door without getting killed? So do I just stand right there in front? So as soon as they come through, I just shoot them. I'm like, well, then what if they throw a grenade? So I'm like, okay, well, let me go into one of the bedroom kind of spots so I can shoot them from the bedroom. So I still have cover, and if they throw a grenade, then I'm good. And they're like, well, shrapnel from the grenade. So I'm like, let me build this little wall of MRE boxes. I'm like, well, it's MRE box, that's not gonna save me. So I went underneath the bed. I'm like, oh wait, now I'm stuck. So if they come in close combat, then I'm stuck underneath the bed. I can't maneuver and fight hand to hand. So I went back out from underneath the bed and went back down my ammo box. But
by the way, this totally sounds like you just way overanalyzing everything, but in a good way. So it's okay.
It happens. So while I'm doing this, going back and forth and building MRE walls, the ANA kept trying to come in. We kept kicking him out, like, go fight. And then eventually, like, the Latvians come in, and it was hilarious because he comes in, he's like, no, he told us to shoot them after he threw the guy out. He's like, if they come in here, fucking shoot them, because I'm tired of this shit. Because he's like telling him, go fight for your country. This is your country. I'm not dying for your country. You go fight for your country. Because we had a really bad Kodak unit with us. It was like supposed to be the worst in the ANA Army at the time. But
it's a low bar. I mean, let's be honest. It's a low bar.
Well, yeah.
No,
well.
it's okay. Keep going.
But so then we were doing that. Then Romachet came in, and then he asked for volunteers. Then Jones went. I don't remember who went with him. Jones, Raz. I can't remember. But I was on the other side of the room with Greg. So they just basically they just ran first. It's not how the movie portrayed Greg. I know. Want to just make that clear. I know he's kind of worried about that. Like he feels
was he the guy that they showed in the movie that he said he doesn't know if he could make it and go back out?
Yeah, and
okay.
I just want to put that out there because he's my brother, and he just feels kind of like how it was portrayed badly on him.
But there's no context given. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's no like time component to anything that's going on. You're just watching the movie. Like you said, all this started around 05, 06 or whatever. So at this point, how long had this been going on?
Well, it felt very short. It felt like, time flies when you're having fun or when shit's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
So for me, it felt like this is all happening within like 5 minutes. In reality, it's probably like this is still very, very early in the battle. This is like within the first probably 30 minutes, maybe a little longer, maybe the first hour. So, I just want people to understand too. Like, I kind of paused and like when Sergeant Rowe came in, I just kind of like what the fuck are you doing? Like, I don't understand. Like, it took me a minute to understand. And like I said, I was 2 seconds earlier preparing how I'm gonna do my final stand, and I'm told like, no, we're gonna push it out. So, all of us need just like a quick tactical pause to reevaluate what the fuck's going on because no one knew what was going on. So like I said, he was on the other side of the room with me, and so it wasn't like he was. Yeah. All I'm trying to say, he was not a coward in any way, shape, or form, even for like a half second. He just needed a breather to figure out, collect his thoughts, and then go from there. Yeah. Jones just jumped up faster, and like I said, Jones and all them just jumped up faster. But yeah, so me, Greg, and Knight, we ended up getting told to push out. So we pushed out of the barracks because now we're trying to retake the base, the COP, and we go on the other side of Rebel Platoon. So because it's still kind of a hilly, but we're on the very slope of a mountain. So there's actually a little rain ditch there, which we used as like a trench for cover. And so we all three are there for a half second, firing back at the enemy up on the switchbacks at this point now, because now we're facing switchbacks. Then we found we're supposed to be with this other element. Basically, they're supposed to, in military drills, one element goes up, one's providing cover, then they move up. They just keep like kind of like walk up. That's what we were supposed to do. Again, I'm a private. I don't know what's going on, so I'm just getting told where I go. So I push up a little bit to next to the defect, and then no one tells me to do anything, so I just stay there. I didn't know I was supposed to, again, push forward. I didn't have radio either, so we just stopped there. And then basically Rowe pushed to the ECP, and then that was all he was able to do because my element was supposed to push further, and we didn't. So we kind of like reorganized from there and just, okay, well, this is where we're going to draw our lines. This is what we got. This is what we're going to hold on to. So we got redistributed. I ran back. I was told to go back with somebody else to go get more ammo. I don't remember doing this, but Jones distinctly remembers me doing it because, like I said, he was with an element that pushed out. He was then on the wall throwing grenades, just lobbing. His job was to throw grenades over the wall, so anyone coming up would get blown.
I could do that. That sounds like my kind of party right there.
Well, no, he hates grenades.
I could lob grenades all day.
He said he threw enough. He threw enough grenades that day for a whole lifetime. He's like, he's done with grenades. So, yeah, so he was there, and when I was running by to get up some ammo and stuff like that, to basically like fortify that position I was at, I gave him a thumbs up, and I was like, yeah, and he's just like, I don't know why, but he's like, when he sees that, he felt better, and because at that point I was starting to get into that mode, like, hey, this is just another tick, we're gonna be okay from here on out.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then basically I'm just basically kind of going back and forth between our barracks wall and the defect, because they keep moving me back and forth from there. And then so I'm either with Knight or I'm with Greg. I know at one point me and Knight were along the our barracks wall, and the A&A were next to us, and they like, this is how bad they were. Like when we say they're the worst, this is how bad they were. I was the one closest to them, and I had to grab one, pick him up, tell him to shoot, and point to where he needed to shoot, and then grab the second one, sit him up, tell him to shoot too, while the first one's finally shooting. The third one I couldn't reach, so he just stayed crouched the whole time. By the time I looked to take 2 or 3 shots, they're both sitting back down. So,
as I said, it's a very low bar.
Yeah.
Low bar.
Well, but anyway. Yeah, so it was very irritating. That's who the Latvians were dealing with. That's why they were throwing them out there, to get them to fight, because it is their country. We're there to help and support them.
Right.
It's very irritating. So yeah, so we're doing this back and forth. I swear that I saved Knight's life. Knight will not say I saved his life, because sometime during this back and forth, they dropped some bombs, and it was awesome. They dropped one on top of the switchbacks, and the blast was really cool. And it was like, wow, could you stop for a second and just look at it, like, whoa. And all of a sudden you start seeing the shrapnel go through the tree, because there's a tree above us. And then I was like, oh shit. And then I grabbed him. He says I did not grab him. He said he ducked down himself. Like, I'm going to say I grabbed him, because I'm on here right now. So I'm a fucking liar, but I don't care. So, yeah, I pulled him down, and the rock went into the wall where his head was. So I was like, see, I saved your life. He's like, no, dude, I got it down myself. But like I said, I'm going to claim it, because I feel like it.
Hey, it's official now. You said it. He's not
exactly.
Here. So it's all good.
Done.
Done.
So, yeah, so like I said, it was kind of crazy like that. And I kind of just stayed there for the rest of the battle for the most part, just back and forth. We found one of the Blue Platoon members, Private Rogers, kind of like coming around. He's like, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Because he was coming around from the defect. So we pulled him in, and he was helping us provide it for the rest of the time. We got to mess with nods, because by then it was starting to get dark. Oh, actually, before it got dark, the insurgents lit the ANA side of the camp on fire. So we needed someone to cut down a tree, and Carter cut down a tree, which almost fell on me and Knight. So we were very upset about that. And then instead of cutting, because he cut it the wrong way. So instead of falling into the fire, it fell and created a bridge. So
did he cut the tree down before they show him leave the vehicle to?
No, this is after. So he was stuck in the vehicle. So he's back with us. And we were like, we need someone to cut down the tree. And he cut down the wrong way, and it made a bridge. So then our talk got caught on fire. A Tactical Operations Command Center, whatever. Acronyms. Yeah. So then our barracks became the new talk, and I'll explain why this is important later in a second. But yeah, so we were upset because he almost dropped a tree on us. So we pushed back out to the DFAC. That's where we stayed, because we had no spot anymore, because it's fucking under a tree. My buddy Wong, because he lost the talk now, so he's going around giving people ammo and food. So he brought me food, running around. So he's just supporting everybody that way, as best he can. And so yeah, I was just there. Got dark, played with nods. Then let's see. Yeah, then that's kind of like it. That's kind of my part for the most part. There's like all the little stories that happen here and there, but
so we're looking at about 12 total hours.
Yeah, for the most part, because they kept saying, like, just at at night, that twilight again hours, they said, oh yeah, they're gonna come down. They finally got QRF and 10th Mountain guys, and we're like, cool. But they didn't make it down to, like, if I remember right, to like 10 o'clock at night, maybe a little later.
That was the QRF.
Yeah, from
Reaction Force. So yeah, they do show them, and it's like nothing's there. like dudes running away.
No, that's not what happened. So I talked to someone else who was with QRF was Specialist Kugler, was his name at the time. He told me that it was just a bunch of days guys from that bomb that dropped.
Okay.
Because that, like I said, the air support did come on kind of later. To me, it felt like halfway through the battle. I don't know. But yeah, once they were there, it did push them back and helped us give that breathing room so we could actually maintain what we had. We did not stop firing though, so we were fighting throughout the whole time still and receiving contact. But by the time they were walking down, they said they were just super dazed, and some of their guys would just walk up to these guys that were dazed and get them. Then they could just walk up and shoot them. So it wasn't hard for them to come down, to say the least. But yeah, they made it down finally. It's just the switchbacks. It just makes it very time consuming. Once they were down, we pushed out already before they got here to collect everybody up that passed away, except for Hart. Hart was MIA, missing in action at the time. That's what he was declared. So there's still hope that he was still around, but most of us knew it probably wasn't going to happen, just because of no contact with them, and knowing Hart who he is, he would have been back with us by then. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. So they got there, and within when they were trying to organize people to help look for him, somebody found him and they brought him back through. And then again, he was actually brought through the part where I was defending from. So he was brought right next to me. And so yeah, but yeah, from there, I ended up having to pull back from the, sorry.
No, you're good.
I had to pull back. Yeah, it's just my phone's at 20%. I should have charged it. I'm dumb. But yeah, so the fire finally spread. So it's kind of like I don't know, a weird campfire feeling for me. I don't know how the other guys felt about it, but it's kind of like to end the whole night. It was kind of like, okay, now the defect's on fire. It's like a campfire. And
were you guys responsible for fires, or because I would.
No, that was it. Remember, I was saying the Taliban, the insurgents, set fire on the ANA side of the camp.
Yeah.
Carter cut the tree down the wrong way.
Letting it burn out, or what?
We didn't really have any firefighting
That's what I figured.
tools. So, but we started digging and pulling everything out as best we can. Unfortunately for Blue Platoon, they lost almost everything. They try to get
co-located. So they said there was 79 Americans. So that was you and Blue Platoon.
No, there's 53 Americans.
Okay. Yeah, I feel there's just bad information on the internet. What a shock. Okay, so
yeah.
And it was all your platoon, and then a few members from Blue Platoon were there as well?
No, it was both of our planes. So the way it worked was, so there's 3 platoons, red, white, and blue, and the green, which is the mortarman, and headquarters element. So
okay.
White platoon was on the OP at the time. So down at the COP was blue and red. So it was just us. So that's what I was saying. So for 1 week, one platoon was doing patrols. The other platoon was doing guard shifts. And then where we broke it up was whoever did. That's why like I said, it was really nice the first couple months, because if you're doing patrols, you only had to do one patrol. The other squad would do the other patrol. So you got a lot of time to relax. Lift weights, whatever.
That's all I ever did when I was deployed.
Yeah. I should have, but I played video games instead and bullshitted.
I'm not, knowing you Army dude, I am not surprised. It's not your thing. It's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody is, wants to spend all their time in the gym. That's fine.
Well, it was crowded. Okay, I know.
No, I get it. So look, let me go back to 2003 when we went into Iraq, and we literally, I can probably say this now, it was 17 years ago. We literally made up a troop ticket to get us outside of the gate to go to a fob that had a TV, so we could buy that TV for our PlayStation 2. Okay, because there were no TVs. We'd already burned through 3 of them because of the dust. So I get it. We just wanted to play Madden 2004. So I got you, bro. I understand.
Appreciate it. Yeah, someone came back with an Xbox, and we were very happy with movies, and we're like, that's what we're doing.
Okay, so you
So
wrapped
yeah,
up the day, essentially about 12 to 14 hours of what that was, right? Give or take.
yeah,
When,
pretty much.
when did
The
you
last,
like? When did you know it's like, all right, it's over. We're done.
that's what I'm saying. Like the fire was kind of like, okay, it's over. That's basically it. Because by the time, like I said, Cura, they just saw a bunch of people that were dazed and confused, walking through, and they're just finishing them off. The fire was there. The last big thing of the fire was like the final thing. There was a grenade that was by the fire pit, so we got all kind of like put up some sandbags around it, and we're just waiting for it to blow up to kind of like signal the end of the day. The 10th Mountain guys slowly started replacing all of us, and then we went to sleep. I got woken up, got told to go back to ECP for my guard shift because we were told to go back on guard, and I was like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Of course, because why
So,
not?
yeah, and then at this point too, like they're like, when we're in the military, there's like two things you're afraid of. You're either gonna be afraid of snipers, you're gonna be afraid of indirect fires, or like the unknown explosion, IEDs. I am not afraid of explosions. I don't care about that stuff. What I'm afraid of is snipers. Like I said, he almost got me, and he got, one of our heroes that we were looked up to. So what I did, because at this time, my little cave around me that like I said, the plywood that protected me on top cover was knocked over. So it's just a gun and open space. So I was like, fuck no. So I dug a little hole in it, and I just used that and had my hand above me. So like, looking around, screaming like that. Cause I'm like, fuck this shit. Now I went from that, and then within 5 minutes, I saw some lights coming down. So I called it up, and Sergeant Stan was on the radio. And he was like, hey, don't worry, I got you. We got Spectre gunship in the area. I was like, what? I'm like, yeah, look up. So I looked up, and I see the shadow of it. Yeah. And it lit up the mountain side. So like, oh, fuck yes. Because I'm one of those guys, like, I don't want to die, but if I know whoever kills me is going to die, then I'm a little bit happier. So after I found out there's a gunship there, I actually went back up there and stood regularly. I'm like, if you shoot me, you're going to die. So it's fucking on you, bro. But so yeah, so it ended up being fine. We're all good. Obviously, I'm awake now. I come back into my barracks room. Like I said, I'll come back to it. I was hoarding the Chef RDs, and I hid them. Come back, someone found my stash. I was really pissed off. Someone ate my Chef RD.
Hey, that's understandable. That is it's a reasonable reason to go.
Yeah,
you can go.
Sure.
There's a lot of fighting in the movie amongst you guys, so I figured this was nothing more than just another reason for you guys to do some naked wrestling or something, or whatever it is you guys are doing all day.
Speaking of fighting, actually, I should probably put this in there. My buddy Knight, this is like his favorite story of that time we were there. So they were playing spades and all this stuff, and I was like, you know what, fuck this. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do a fucking Sudoku out here. I don't give a fuck.
Of course you would do a Sudoku, Army dude.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me either.
Yeah.
You are so on brand. Your brand hasn't changed. I like it. I appreciate the authenticity.
Of course. I will. So they wanted to play spades and they wanted a chair. And I was like, no, I'm not getting up. They're like, dude, don't be a dick. And I'm like, fuck y'all. So Sergeant Stan's like, oh, really? Sergeant Stan's a big guy. And he picked me up and threw me across the room. So, whee! And then I went back to my room and I did my Sudoku there. But so it is Knight's favorite story to tell people about me. Well, one of them. So I figure I'll just throw that in there too for him. So I saved his life. I'll put that story for him.
Okay. So there we are. All right. You've now been thrown out. The battle is over. This was October 3rd. When did you actually go home?
No. So, well, that's actually not everything too. So
there's
still more stuff happening.
Keep going.
So that's the end of the battle part, right? So we were there at Keating for another 2 days, 3 nights. So, because with in Islam, you have to bury your dead within 3 days. So it was getting kind of tense with Kamdesh, because that's where all these surgeons were. They're like, we want to come get your bodies. We said, fuck no, you come near us, we're gonna kill you. Like, we're not playing that. You're not gonna sneak up on us.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we went to sleep again. We got really pissed off because 10th Mountain guys shot off a bunch of RPK and AKs and whatnot, and they had a very distinct sound versus, U.S. weapons.
Right.
And so we thought we were in an attack again. So we all rushed out, and then they started laughing at us. We're like, "Fuck you guys!" So we were very upset with them. Went back to sleep, woke up, and then we're like, "We want to shoot these things," and they told us no. So to this day, I have yet to shoot an AK. So I'm really upset about that. And not only that, like my buddy will say too, because at the time I wasn't very big into firearms. I'm from California. I went shooting. Mostly I shot was like a bunch of little 22s, nothing very big. Thought I joined the Army. But he recognized all of them. He's like, no, wow, like they had Lee Enfields, which were worth like $2,000 at the time from the Anglo-Afghan wars. They had really good SKSs. They had all these really expensive weapons in the United States, and like we weren't allowed to take any of them home. We were just talking about the other night when I was talking with them. Like they should just let us like plug the barrels up or something like that, or whatever, and just take them home, as a trophy.
Yeah,
so
we're not allowed to have fun. You know that.
exactly. We were like, that's why I was pissed. Like, because every other generation, they always bring stuff back. We didn't get to bring anything back.
Hey, look,
but yeah,
my girl's grandfather has his, what was it, the M1 that they were issued in World War II? Like, yeah. I was fortunate to go in OIF-1 during the invasion in Iraq, and I at least got some Iraqi, some uniforms. I think I got a helmet somewhere. But that was before all the garrison rules showed up, and it's, the war trophy thing, like you said, and all.
yeah.
But yeah,
So
no, if anything, your unit was probably able to take it home and put it into their unit museum.
Yeah, I think they did take a couple to their unit museum, like you said. But yeah, we didn't get to do anything. I didn't get to shoot anything. So I was very, very upset.
Fun. The no fun league.
Yeah. But yeah, so that went on for like another 2 nights. They did come in and take the bodies the second night. So we went there. We took some of our what we had left of large A bags and B bags and stuff like that for the deployments, and we sent that off with the second chalk that came out after they picked up our dead. And then we had to wait again because the flights were long. Like I said, and they're only sending like 2 choppers at a time. They came back the third night.
So were you guys, hold on, not to interrupt, but were you guys flying to Bagram?
No, we're going to Bostic.
Bostic, okay, and then to Bagram?
No, Bostic.
You guys left country from Bostic?
No, we just, all we did was go from Keating to Bostic, and we stayed in Bostic for the rest of the deployment.
Oh,
I came home because I was supposed to go on R&R, but that wasn't for a couple weeks.
So how much longer? How much longer was your unit there at Bostic?
Until May of next year.
Jesus, that's crazy because that was October, so another 7 months basically.
Mm-hmm.
And was there anything significant after that for them up there, or was it all pretty mellow?
In Keating or at Bostic?
No, at Bostic, because you already said stuff happened.
No, more stuff happened at Bostic. More stories.
It's fucking nuts, man. It just, like, I get it. You have to, like, it sucks, and that's a bad way of saying it, but it does suck that you guys during your rotation were a part of this. But just because it happened in, like, I don't know, month 3 of your rotation doesn't mean your rotation's over, right? Like, you still gotta, Charlie Mike, continue mission, right?
We got replacements and go from there. So, yeah. But so we like I said, we were just kind of like that. The night when they were gonna finally take us, right? Which I was kind of confused. They took QRF first and took them out of Keating first. I'm like, what the fuck? They're the freshest of the people that they leave first. I'm like, you come in after everything's over, you shoot the fun guns, don't let us shoot the fun guns, and you leave first? Like, what the fuck? And then as they're going through, Red Platoon, which had the heaviest casualties, was on the last chalk, and with the colonel. They tried telling us, I remember this because I was close enough to the colonel, they're not going to come back and pick us up because it's too close to daylight time. They're like, we're not going to fly out again. And he's like, fuck no, you're not going to leave me here with the most depleted platoon alone for another day when, like this is getting on to day 3, they're going to come in and take their bodies one way or another to bury their dead. So yeah, they came back, and I was joking with my buddy. I'm like, hey, I bet you someone's going to fall over running to the chopper. And someone did. I guess you can probably guess who that was. This guy. Not once, but twice. I fell. Also, I broke my watch. And then for the rest of the deployment, I never was able to keep a watch for more than like 2 weeks, maybe. They would always break on me, like fucking. So, because I used to be wearing watches all the time. My dad used to collect watches, so I had a pretty good selection of watches to wear, and I don't wear them anymore because they all break. It sucks. But yeah, so then they picked us up. We came back. They gave us some more clothes and some sleeping bags, and we kind of kicked out the MPs that were there. We're like, we're sleeping in here. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, we were at Bostic for a little bit. We did a couple of our reports real fast. They quick saw the chaplain real fast. All the normal stuff after something like that would happen. And then they came up to me and Greg and said, hey, we're doing the memorial service, but we know that you guys were supposed to leave like 2 weeks ago for your leave. Which one do you want to do? And I took my leave instead of going to the memorial, which is another thing I'm kind of regretful for. But I just kind of needed to get away for a little bit, obviously. I think everyone did. But yeah, so I came home and yeah, hang out with my wife, be with her, and get cuddles. Cuddle.
Nothing wrong with that. I like your wife. She's good people.
Yeah, she's a great cook.
I know. Well, it's been a while since she's cooked, like for us at least. What's going on? Is she there? Is she there now? I feel you're looking.
Maybe.
I can hear her giggling. I just remember there was some like exchange you sent me many months ago, like, oh, Sergeant Ski's gonna love all this cooking I'm gonna do, and it's never really happened. So I'm just curious.
She cooked a couple times.
That's because Ko still hasn't given me his Korean
This
food.
is true. She did say that she's holding out until Ko gets her Korean food. So
okay, that's fair. Okay, all right. So the battle is ended. All right. So now I want to go back because now I want you to address as best as you can based on, if you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about or because you just weren't involved in that situation, this is just some of the stuff I wrote down from the movie. And I think it may tie in with some of the things you said. I think you mentioned that like they showed some stuff that happened before you guys were actually there, like it was a different unit.
yeah, so
Captain Keating rollover, was that part of you guys? Was Captain Keating ever your commander, or was that before you?
No. So the first 3 commanders from Keating all the way to Bowder or whatever his name was.
Yeah, bro.
That was not us. However, I won't say that because I don't know if he sued them or did something to make sure his name wasn't in there. But we did have a commander prior to Captain Portis. So
the Captain Keating rollover was before you ever showed up.
Yeah, everything between like there's certain things that we did that were like obviously the characters, Scusa, who was a good friend of mine, obviously Sergeant Romache, Sergeant Kirk, all those guys, all of them were part of us. I don't know who Younger was. I don't know who that was. So I can't talk on that. But most of that other stuff wasn't us.
Yeah, I mean, I assumed. Well, mainly because I know you saw the movie before I did. When you said that, I was like, okay. But then when I watched it, I was like, well, there's no way that this was COP Keating and Captain Keating was your commander. That just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
I was like, I get how naming things or naming rights take place. Anyway, here's the other thing I thought. So there's 2 scenes where they have guys playing guitar, and I was wondering, like, was that your song, Army Dude, that they were?
No, that wasn't the song that Jones made up.
Is that who that guy was supposed to be? Was that supposed to be them or him?
I think so. I think that's what it was. Except for Jones was playing in our barracks, not because I think they were in the mortar platoon barracks when they were doing that. I'm not sure, but yeah, he was in our barracks, and he was the one that played. But while you're saying with that other stuff that happened, the second captain that died on the bridge,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
used to run across that bridge and hop on it like a trampoline because I thought it was fun. Because like you got to find little simple things that are fun.
Right.
I would not have done that if I knew that's what happened. Just want to put that out there.
So that happened while you were there? That was
No, that didn't. I didn't know about it. But my buddy Greg, apparently he knew about it because we were talking about it because he hasn't seen it either. I was talking about that scene, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I heard about that. That's why if you notice, I always stepped in the same spot and I ran as fast as I could across that bridge versus me, who was just, having a little fun and bouncing on the bridge, seeing if it would break."
And that's what I brought up while watching the movie. Like, my daughter was watching with me, my girl's watching with me, and I'm like, look at this country, because I remember stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's fucking fun. No one's out there having fun in that damn country. Get out in the rivers, have some fun. You might like your life a little more if you just have some fun in the fucking river. You got a rope bridge going across. I don't know if that was true or not. You said, did you go over that bridge?
Yeah, I went over and it was
real.
bouncy.
Like that river and everything was there.
Some of those people don't care though. Like the animals in Afghanistan, especially in Nuristan, like they live forever. Like we're not allowed to have pets, So that scene with the dog, that was us.
Okay.
Except for it didn't happen like that. It was on the switchbacks. It was when Blue Platoon, because for the first 3 months, Blue Platoon was OP Infantry, and they switched with White. So while they're coming down, Griffin was very, very attached to that dog. So I forget who they had in the movie that was super attached to the dog, but it was Griffin. It was basically Griffin's dog. And unfortunately, our commander, prior to Captain Portis, like I said, they didn't put his name in it, so I'm not going to put his name in it. But, he didn't want it down here because they do carry fleas, and we were having issues with fleas. So we had supposed to have an exterminator come in and kill them because it was just bad. And so they tried to shoot it. It didn't die. They tried to use a pistol. Didn't die. Shoot in the head. Didn't die. Used the rifle. Still didn't die. I forget, because Griffin was next to us, next to me. So we were like holding him back and like, dude, just calm down. Just calm down. I'm sorry. I don't know if they cut its throat finally to kill it or it just finally died from gunshot wounds, but they shot it several times trying to kill it and it just would not die. When we were first there too, when I was on the ECP, I saw the family, like a child fall in the river and get taken down the rapids, and they just keep walking like nothing happened. Like, these are very hard
I've seen
people.
that fucking Kuwait and the highways, the way people drive there, you got toddlers sitting on people's laps and shit. Even in Afghanistan, like, look, the respect for life is very different from the United States perspective and the rest of the world. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, so that was real, like the bridge, the river, all that stuff. Okay, so the next thing I got written down on here, so Captain Broward, was he your commander at some point or no?
No.
That was before you.
Yeah, I don't know who Captain Bauer is. Like, that's what I'm saying.
That guy, you think that guy was real, or is that just for fucking the movie? Because he didn't have a great role. I mean, outside of that.
We had a commander, like I said, Captain Brower in the movie did order the dog die. The previous commander to Captain Portis that we had did do that, and there were some other certain things that happened that the other, like I said, hit the previous commander that I had when I got there. The first one I had, his name wasn't mentioned, so
there's some Hollywood. Got it. Okay. So then the next big thing I just remember, because this was very similar to my experience in Kabul when being at this small base. So you have that scene where the interpreter's coming in and it's his warning and he's like, this is it, right? And everyone's just like, dude, you say this every week.
Yeah, so it wasn't the interpreter, it was the AMP officer that told you that he's the one that ran up. However, the Terp did run through. We called him Ron Jeremy because he looked like an Afghan version of Ron Jeremy. He loved that joke. He would tell me this joke about his wife, how she was trying to get with him. He was like, I'm tired, so he just roll over and fart on her, and then she'd leave him alone. But yeah, he was a good guy. He was hiding in the shitter, as where they found him.
The AMP guy or the interpreter?
Interpreter.
It's a good spot, I guess. No one's gonna look there, right?
Well, we were surprised because there was a Connex next to the shitters that was the shower or the laundromat, and that had holes going through it. So Sergeant Martin tried to get cover from it, and it didn't work. And so that's where they found him after everything was said and done. So for Ron Jeremy to survive in the shitter, that's why I was kind of surprised, because even it showed you too with in the movie Mace and Gallegos running behind the shitters. to get there. So you saw that they were shooting at that area very heavily, and yet around Germany was A-okay. So.
All right. So the next thing I have on here, I know you kind of talked about the ANA, the Afghan National Army. So how many of them were actually on the COP with you?
I'm trying to remember because I did count them one time because I just wanted to figure out how many were there. I want to say it was like a platoon size element. I don't know, like 15, 20, 30 of them.
And they were just
something like that.
They just MIA the whole time, huh?
They'd come and go, yeah. That's why I tried counting them one time and see how many were there because we did do a patrol with them and the Latvians. We just got really annoyed and kind of did our own thing after a while because the Latvians like these guys.
But during that battle, they
ran away.
They ran away.
Yeah, you can if you look at that Taliban video, like I was telling you about, you'll see them running by, giving thumbs up, and keep on running. They're lucky though that we didn't see that until after we came back to the States because when we were on Bostic, we ran into some of them. One of them I kind of recognized, and he was trying to act all tough with us, and we almost got into an altercation with them until our platoon sergeant, who was working as the liaison for DNA, kind of told us like, "Hey, just let it be, just let it be. We don't need another incident." So, but yeah, if we would have saw that, we wouldn't give a shit. We would beat the shit out of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I go back to saying like, it's a fucking low bar, unfortunately.
Yeah. We liked some of them. Like we had one guy, RPG guy. He was always calling like Dushman, and like pointing up to the sky, and we're like, yeah, Dushman, and then he'd like RPG. He's like, we're like, yeah, RPG, and he'd like get ready to shoot. So like we had to like pass it around the camp, like don't agree with him saying Dushman and pointing unless there is actually an enemy there, because he will fire that thing. He will not hesitate. And he was always high. He's always high as shit. Cause like their plants would grow up to like, really, really high.
Okay, and so that brings me to, so who was the lieutenant in the movie? Was that guy your XO or was he
Lieutenant Bunderman was my PL.
So that he was the one that took over during that, or was that kind of maybe? Yeah. So what was his name?
Lieutenant Bunderman.
Butterman.
Mm-hmm.
What's his deal now? Is he still in, or what's?
No, basically just about everybody got out. So from my platoon that was there that day, Greg, he's staff sergeant as well. He's still in, and I'm still in. And then Sergeant Larson, he went aviation. I think he's with the Guard now, flying with the Guard. I think that's it.
I mean, the LT is he's probably portrayed outside of the 2 Medal of Honor winners. Like that guy they made him look like a fucking rock star. Was that legit or?
I don't know. He was in the dark.
I figured because that's why I say like I bring these questions up because you probably had zero interaction with him that day because you were fucking PFC. He was a lieutenant, but
yeah,
I mean it looked like he was the one who stepped in and kind of took charge of everything within the talk, and I felt like without reading the books, which I know I need to do, but just watching the movie, I felt like the dude did a great job.
Yeah. Like for my buddy Wong, like I said, he was in the talk for that time. He said he was doing a pretty good job as best he could, obviously, with what he had. And him and Sergeant Rowe worked really well together. Sergeant Rowe, they work really well together. So, that has a lot to do with it too. Lieutenant Bunderman was pretty cool. We messed with him a lot too. Like I think it was on his birthday. I think Raz grabbed a goat, kidnapped a goat, and put it in there his bed. We tried to scare him with some. We caught some of these, like we call them camel spiders, but I don't think they're real camel spiders. They're like just giant hairy ones that we finally got. They look like they're still alive when they're dead. They don't curl up like normal spiders do. When they're like that, they're still looking like they're gonna pounce. So we just put a bunch of dead ones around his bed and like in the entryway to scare him. So we had fun.
Yeah, he looked like in the movie at least, and you say the stuff you say, it sounded like he was. Obviously, he's a good sport, but he was one of the. I guess he was an officer that fit in.
Yeah.
That Would that be fair? Like he took his role serious, but at the same time, he knew how to endear himself to you guys and be a part of it.
Yeah, I would say that.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they paint him in a great light. So I'm glad that that's actually how it was. So the next, another officer, but who is that? I guess they were showing him as the medic, but he was a captain, so I assume he was.
Captain Cordova.
Okay, is that the guy that you told me
We were
about?
talking about. Yeah.
Okay. So what was
he was just really cool. I didn't interact with him too much. Because I'm one of those guys who just kind of stick with whoever's next to him. So I just kind of mostly hung out with my platoon personally. But he was really great guy. Every interaction I ever had with him, he was fantastic. He was the one that told me that told people like he used to be a ER surgeon in Miami, and he was just kind of like done putting together gangbangers. Either when we want to put together, like if I want to put someone together from a gunshot wound, it's going to be someone who's protecting somebody, which is why he joined the military, from my understanding.
Oh, no, that's great. Now that you say that, I do remember you telling me a lot about him. But seeing him represented there, I felt like he was I don't know. I guess I look at that fob and who was on it, and on it from the medical side, and just like you guys were very fucking lucky, man. Because what are the odds of you having a surgeon? You know what I mean? Like, and on that small fob, like it's not high, but the fact that he was there, that probably definitely helped out a lot. Whether you know it at the time or not, it's just not common. In most of even where I was, a small fob in downtown Cabo and a 3-star command, and we may have had mostly enlisted medics. A couple of NCOs, maybe a CCO, but I don't remember an officer.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like that wasn't there. So the fact that you guys had it, I think you guys were very fortunate.
I think the command did understand too that we were very remote. Like they said in the movie, like we had vehicles. I even asked them, like, why do we have vehicles here? Like if they were using the road before, why don't we keep using the road? And they're like, oh, it's because we got ambushed so many times on the road. We just canceled it. And we just said, fuck, it's not worth it. So because of that and the fact that we were out of artillery range, like you can't deny the fact that, hey, we're out of artillery range. We didn't really have a good OP to overwatch us. That's probably why they gave us an officer with us.
Yeah.
Just because, we needed one.
So yeah, that's fine. I mean, I get that. That does make a lot of sense. But at the same time, I still feel like at least that was one of the few smart things they did by giving you that individual. So I know you say you were woken up in the middle of it, but I'm just curious. Like you went through 12 hours of just that. How long did you sleep when you finally got a chance? Like, did you just how long did that happen? Because I went through some stuff that's not even remotely close to the level of the shit field. I would never pretend to have experienced that, but anytime we had anything where you just spike from adrenaline or whatever, when you finally get back and get a chance to sleep and it's uninterrupted, I remember days where
I think that's one thing that was cool with the 10th Mountain guys. That did let us sleep for a while. So other than going to guard shift, I think I got normal amount of sleep. 5-8 hours. And just
so
went
when
back.
You woke up the next day, were you just like, what do we do now? Or were you aware of how big of a deal that was, or did it take a while?
No, we were aware. Sorry.
Yeah.
We took a platoon photo, which, like, if you look at Rep Platoon's book, you'll see the photo in there.
Yeah.
I'm the goofy one that has everything strapped on. I don't look cool like everyone else has a helmet off or doing a cool guy pose. I'm just sitting there. I didn't think about doing cool guy pose. I should have, but whatever. Anyways, but yeah, no, it was like a normal day kind of thing. Like not normal, obviously, but we went around. We did do a patrol into the village again to see the damage, to kind of do like damage report on it. Blue Platoon went into the village, and a couple of Red Platoon guys. We went to do Overwatch. So actually, what kind of blew my mind was the seeing the fighting positions they had made during that day, and what they were seeing, because like a lot of the trees were blown over. we actually found people alive inside the village. Like those little huts that they make are really, really, really sturdy. Like that, the Shure building that was in, yes, a round did come through, but as many rounds that building took, it's just amazing that these buildings were still standing. It's just stone. I was protected by plywood, which is like, wow, I want to buy plywood. Like when I buy a house, I want to get plywood put over my windows for a storm shelter or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a patrol. We did guard shifts. We collected stuff. We collected, went, obviously checking the enemy dead. I found one of their prayer beads. I gave it to the interpreter to give to the EMM. Interpreter was like, "Fuck that guy," because he almost got killed too. So he's like, "Fuck that dude, try to kill me." I'm like, "Well, all right, whatever." But I like they say, a lot of people find religion in battle. I definitely found mine that day. Like I said, I was positive that 3 times. All I was praying for is just to come back, see my wife and my daughter born.
Yeah.
So, and now I have 4 kids. So
you have definitely been making up for lost time. So that's good.
Yeah, it was.
All right, and then so I think really the last question I have on here is you've seen the movie now. Obviously, you're still in touch with a lot of the guys from that unit. What's kind of been the reception amongst everybody with the movie? Accurate?
So
Hollywood or what?
some of them seen it, some of them haven't, some of them refused it because like I appreciate, and I think everyone, like when I was talking to the other guys, I think they do appreciate the fact that they are putting our names out there, but it's the fact that they combined all the units together. So some of the guys from previous units, like Captain Keating's unit, the other captains' units, everything that they went through as well, they're a little upset because the focus was obviously on 361,
Right.
not the units, and so they didn't get the representation that they deserved necessarily. And so that was kind of like everyone's feeling about it. So like I was saying, how I look at it is as a war movie, it is a great war movie. I don't know why people compare it to Hurt Locker because that's a horrible war movie. But
Hurt Locker is an awful war movie.
Exactly. But someone did say Black Hawk Down.
One of the worst movies ever made. It's the most unrealistic movie I've ever seen in my life. And it's absolutely terrible. And for the Hurt Locker to win a Oscar is just a reflection of what the Oscar actually means, which is nothing, because it's a horrible movie. So I just want to put that out there. I don't know how long this will stay on the internet, but as long as anyone ever actually finds this, I want them to get through what are we at? Like, we're at an hour and 30 minutes. If they can at least come to this point and hear me say, and you say as well, that The Hurt Locker is a terrible movie. The Hurt Locker is a terrible movie. There's not a thing in that movie that's real. I'm going to look at the camera and say that. The Hurt Locker.
Not real.
All right. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but someone did compare it to Black Hawk Down, which was a pretty good movie.
Actually, a good movie. Yes.
Yeah. Now, what I would like to get compared for a modern movie is like if it got gotten compared. Well, and I think Rebeltoon, when it comes out, if they still come out, because one of the things I saw, they said they might not do it because Outpost did come out. I don't think so. It has a much larger budget because that Outpost had a really small budget. So they produced a great quality movie with a B/C budget.
I mean, there's not a lot. I think that you really need a budget to show that. But I don't know what Rebeltoon would cover. Maybe it covers more of what you guys did, or a backstory about getting there, going home, all that stuff. Maybe just covers more of your deployment. But I feel like for that battle, it wouldn't.
Well, that's what Rebeltoon will be a lot better because we'll be able to cover the battle more with a bigger budget. You can actually follow the actors and you can cut the scenes and stuff. With a bit larger budget, you're able to edit the scenes and stuff like that. Because like when I was reading the reviews, that was one of the biggest complaints is character development and stuff like that. One of my biggest beefs with that movie is actually, so Faulkner, like I said, I didn't say, I did say, I was Blue Platoon first, all right? Faulkner was my roommate. He was my best friend, one of my best friends. And I just, there was no reason to put him in there for getting busted for marijuana. Like there's certain things like, yeah, it's the truth that happened.
Yeah.
But there was no point in saying that, especially for a movie where they're just dancing.
At the end of the day, man, it's Hollywood, right? So it's, you never know the external forces on messaging or whatever needs to be in a movie. So
Yeah, no, I understand that part. It's just
I agree.
that's
That is not. Yeah, I mean that shit does happen. Obviously, people fuck up whether it's in stateside garrison or if it's while they're deployed. But what was the relevance?
exactly. And then like there was no, like I said, it didn't develop any of the other characters more, So those just kind of upset me about that movie the most. But like I said, for us that have been there, a lot of inaccuracies, a lot of combining stuff, a lot of and there's people in the group that just like, hey, I'm just happy that that our voices were heard, and I'm happy that it's just out there, and they're just that's all they cared about. Other guys, they were like, well, I would like a better representation, and that's kind of what it boiled down to. And that's why I said with Red Platoon, I think it'll be a great representation for us in Bravo Troop 361, because again, you're gonna have a lot larger budget, you're gonna have a lot more time to develop the story, to get those little nuances of the stupid stuff that we were doing. Like I was saying, my song, maybe it'll show up in there. I don't know. Or me getting thrown across the room probably will get put in there because that's pretty funny. Getting thrown across, little man getting thrown across the room, But I gotta say too, we fought a lot, right? Now one of my nicknames, especially at Bostic, we fought a lot because I had the top bunk, Spider Monkey. So every time people would come in and there was a fight, I would just jump in, and whoever was losing, I just switch to the team and fight. And everyone hated me because I was like latch on to people that couldn't get me off. So.
Awesome.
Just because I'm small doesn't mean I can't fight. Not against a giant man like freaking Lawrence Stan. He's really, really big.
Yeah. So, I do. I mean, I don't know what the last article, how recent it was. I read. I mean, I did read that they were making that movie, so hopefully they do. But as you already know, there's some weird shit going on right now in the world that's kind of holding movies.
Yeah.
But anyway, I feel like the last thing I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk about is we all know you were a Cav Scout, and the Cav Scouts get a bad rap, but I don't know of an infantry unit who's got a movie about them from Afghanistan yet. And last I checked, you guys are still the most decorated unit in the Afghan war. So we already know what the retired Sergeant Major of the Army Daily said about Cav Scouts and what most infantrymen think. So, Army dude, Staff Sergeant Davidson, Cav Scout, 2 times. What would you like to say as your parting shot to the infantrymen who do not have a movie about them in Afghanistan?
Put back down to what the dictionary actually says. Infantryman is someone who wasn't good enough to be Cav. It's in the dictionary. Just can't beat it.
All right, let's leave it at that. I appreciate you joining us, man, and thanks for coming on. And again, Staff Sergeant Nicholas Davidson, he was in the Battle of Kamdesh at COP Keating. So if you get a chance, go watch the movie, The Outpost, read the books, The Outpost, Red Platoon, and then look for, in the future, hopefully, the movie Red Platoon about said book. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host. We'll see you next time. And look, what I need you to do before we get out of here is I need you to go and like, I need you to subscribe, I need you to give a review, because we got some good stuff coming after this guy. Now, again, I told you I set the bar pretty high. First guest was a retired CIA paramilitary operations officer. But Army Dude Davidson, Staff Sergeant Davidson is a pretty solid follow-up guest. All right. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please share with your friends and get this man's story out there. Army Dude, thanks for coming on. Wow. And I'll see you tomorrow. We got an IPR. Later.
Yay.
All right, buddy. Thanks.